All right. So, oh, come on. Now.
There hasn't been an airplane
now
from the airport since March, and it happens now.
In my research, I've been very fortunate to have the opportunity to interview people who grew up in Pointe Claire some time ago. There's been Rob and Ted, Miss Machin, Bill Gordon, Bill Stockwell, Jack Beaumont, Ann Smith. There's been a lot. It's their testimonials that confirm certain facts that I read in books and newspaper articles, in city minutes. They're the ones who add credibility. These interviews end up being pretty long, and for the videos, I typically only use little sound bites. But today, I'd like to share with you an experience of a young girl who grew up in Valois. A more complete version, because this one was just too charming to cut up.
Were you born in Valois?
I was.
You were born in Valois. So your parents came to Valois fairly early on.
They built in 1946, and my brother was born just before they built. They were living with my father's mother in Westmount, in the home where he was a child. And he had his bride there and a new baby, and so they built a house out here. And it was my father's chance to make a break from his family and go into a whole new community, and it was a fresh start. All that had been here were cottages for people who had come out from the city by train. I think this was the future. He was starting a family, and for him it was identity. He was breaking away from the old family tradition, going into the new world. This was prosperous, had hope. I mean, we know it now as we look back that it was working class, but for him, working class was the top dog. And he got work at Air Canada, which was just down the road eventually, and he worked as a mechanic for Air Canada.
There must have been a lot of kids.
Yeah. Every place was an opportunity to play. The streets were dirt, and there were no sidewalks. And so we would play, I would play with Keithy Morse, whose house is still there, on the side of the road. And we would play with his dinky toys. And we would make tunnels.
Dinky, was that the name of the toy?
Dinky toys, they were dinky toys. Don't they
Dinky
still?
as in like cheap or?
No, dinky toys are,
Dinky's a brand
that was
name?
a brand.
Oh, because in my generation we said as dinky, meaning that it's
No, these were legitimate dinky toys and trucks. And Keithy and I would go for walks to the park, and one day he fell down and I ran over him.
With what?
With my bike.
Because you wanted his dinky toys.
No.
You could have just asked.
I just didn't see him go down.
Holy moly.
And then I told you about Bobby Lee on this property. I think I was going to school over here, but I lived on Prince Edward. So Bobby Lee and I were out on this property with a bunch of other kids, and the challenge was put forward, let's do some leg wrestling. So we lay down, you know, with our butts side by side, and lifted our legs and then locked them, and I flipped him over. And I'd like to get in touch with Bobby Lee and do it again.
You would have been how old, do you think?
I think I was probably about 11.
So you've held on to this memory for over 50 years.
Oh yeah, it's empowered me.
At what life stage did you start to feel a sense of pride that you're from this history, this part of this history?
Right from the beginning.
Oh, so you were an exception to...
No, I felt part of this, and I still feel part of this. But I'm from here. This is where my heart is. I'll always be...
a Valoisite.
Yeah. Yeah, that never goes away. Well, I'm lucky that I still live locally, and I can drive around Valois, and all these memories come flooding back, because it really hasn't changed a great deal.
I think I'm good.
Bobby Lee.
Now's your chance.
Now's your chance.
Look right into that camera.
Bobby Lee, now's your chance for another leg fight. And I challenge you, show up at the corner of Belmont and Prince Edward before it turns winter this year, and I will win again.
And you're like Zumbaing or something. What's the exercise you're doing now?
I do street dance.
Street dance.
Yeah.
So good luck, Bobby Lee. There's not a chance in hell.